Is the Uninet iColor 560 White Toner Printer worth it? Is it good? Is it efficient? Does it get the job done? Have I wasted almost $5,000 on that printer? All of those questions and more will be answered in today's video. So given the popularity of my last video talking about my DTG printer and how much of a fail that was, I figured, you know what? Let me give you all my legitimate 100% real review on the iColor 560. Now, to get started, what exactly is a white toner printer? So a white toner printer is just that. It's a printer, specifically a laser printer. It has the ability to print the color white. Now, why would you need that? Well, there's tons of different applications that are gonna ultimately need the color white. Any regular printer cannot print white. It's only printing on top of a white surface. So whenever a printer prints absolutely anything, it's always gonna assume that there's a white base. That white base is what's gonna make all of the colors pop. Now, that's also why you can't sublimate on, let's say, black, because there's no white base. Instead, it's printing on your basic paper, which is then transferred onto your shirt or whatever material it is that you're sublimating. And it's gonna assume that whatever substrate that you're printing on, it's gonna assume that that's white. So that's why when you sublimate onto something black, it doesn't show. The black absorbs all of the colors because there's no white underbase. So that in itself is a huge plus for the white toner printer. The white toner printer has tons of different applications that can really be printed on any color surface. Again, because you're able to print a white underbase, kind of like DTF prints, except DTF prints are a whole different world. Now, I'm pretty sure that most of you watching this video are thinking, you're gonna get a white toner printer for t-shirts. And that's exactly how I started. But let me tell you, that's not the best reason to get it. While it does work, well, yes, you can print different kinds of t-shirts with all of the different types of papers that there are. Some papers are gonna last longer, some papers are a bit softer, some papers just overall feel better and are better quality. At the end of the day, a white toner printer is a lot more versatile than, let's say, a DTF printer or a DTG printer that's only being used for t-shirts, because you can print a whole lot of other things with it. So because there's so many different types of applications with a white toner printer, there's a lot of different types of papers that are used for all of these different applications. Not only that, but being able to have access to all of these different types of papers and medias that you can print is gonna make it really easy for you to be able to expand your product offerings. So you can offer a lot more with just a single printer. So right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you straight up, if you want to buy a white toner printer only for t-shirts, then I suggest looking somewhere else. Or maybe not even a printer altogether, but maybe just outsourcing transfers. But if you want a printer that can print t-shirts, it can print cups, it can print tattoos, it can print pretty much almost anything you could think of, then you really should be considering a white toner printer, because again, it's extremely versatile. Now, just to show you a couple of different examples of what I've printed using a white toner printer, check these out. So for one, of course, we have our typical shirts. I've been printing t-shirts, which is actually why I purchased it in the first place, but I've been making t-shirts with this printer for ever since I got it, pretty much. Now, I know I said that if you're looking to just print t-shirts, go a different route. I didn't know that at the beginning, but to be completely honest with you, I'm pretty happy I ended up going with the white toner printer because I found out how versatile it really is. And then aside from that, I've also printed actually temporary tattoos. No, this isn't temporary, but the one that you're seeing on the screen is. So I've printed a few different temporary tattoos, and I've even sold some of these to some local tattoo shops, so that way they can give out to the kids or to anybody that they want to. It's pretty much free tattoos for them. Aside from that, check this out. So you know how you can sublimate on cups, but not just your basic glass? Well, check this out right here. I made this for my kid because he has been absolutely loving tile, and this is using water slide decal paper. This is really, really cool. This can pretty much be used on almost anything, and it's super easy to apply. Not only that, but I even put it on a skateboard. That is the water slide decal paper, and as you can tell, that's on there. It's not coming off. This thing is so cool. Aside from that though, there's also a lot of other applications that you probably wouldn't really think of right off the bat. So one of the coolest things that I did was being able to print on black paper. Since you can print with white toner, you can print on black paper, and trust me, That looks pretty fancy. You can use a white toner printer in this way to be able to make different types of invitations. That is absolutely insane because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Just the fact that you can print with the color white is going to give you a huge advantage amongst tons of other people, especially for people that are looking for things like, let's say, wedding invitations, right? Or some sort of fancy invitation that they just want it to look good. They want it to stand out. They want it to be unique. In which case, being able to print on black cardstock can make a world of difference. Now, for those of you watching and thinking, but my main thing is going to be t-shirts. I do want to use it for all these other things, but primarily I want it for shirts. You can use it for shirts. You definitely can, specifically for one-offs. So don't go thinking that you're going to use this printer and make work shirts. Well, yeah, you can, and I've done it before. They're not going to last as long as some other methods, but you can definitely use this printer for one, to come up with samples, two, to be able to do one-offs, three, to be able to run your Etsy store. I've used this printer primarily more than anything when it comes to t-shirts for my Etsy store because you literally can only print one transfer and you're good. There's no maintenance that needs to be done to the printer. It doesn't even need to be turned on most of the time. That's what I absolutely love about the white toner printer. The fact that it doesn't need much maintenance or any maintenance at all, really. A lot of other printers like a DTF or a DTG printer, they do require some sort of daily, weekly, or even monthly maintenance. Or all three. White toner printers can be turned off until the day that you need them, turn it on, warm it up a little bit, and boom, it's gonna start printing as if nothing ever happened, as if it was on the entire time. Have I ever gotten any complaints when it comes to the quality of a white toner printer when I'm using t-shirts? No. I actually have not. The biggest complaints have actually come from other people who print t-shirts themselves. And that's because after you wash a shirt the first time, it can potentially get wrinkled, especially if you have a really big design. But that's something that can easily be remedied if you're able to rasterize your prints. What is rasterization? Well, simply put, it's when you make a bunch of little holes inside the design itself to be able to let water wash right through it, go in and out, without affecting the actual print. Of course, it is going to affect the print in the long run, but being able to rasterize your images does increase the longevity a little bit longer. Also, depending on the type of paper that you use, you can have some better quality images or some longer lasting prints as well. Now, personally, I don't like rasterization. It's not something I've ever liked. I like big block images. I know a lot of people are like, but you're going to feel the whole thing on your shirt. Yeah, that might be true, but I don't care. My customers have never complained, so I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Now, how do you actually print all of these different types of transfers? Well, each type of transfer is going to have its own way of printing and its own process altogether. It's not that complicated, but like always, there is a little bit of a learning curve. Now, when it comes to t-shirts, you're going to have the A and B paper. The A paper is what you print on. The B paper is what you slap on right behind it. You heat press it and voila, you have a transfer. But that's not the only option there is. There's also other options which are pretty much one-stop shops. So you can just print on the basic paper and just slap that one onto a t-shirt. Of course, that's not going to be as durable, let's say, as the A and B paper, but it's still an option and it's a pretty quick option at that. Now, something like the water slide paper, this works in a fairly similar manner. All you have to do really is print onto it, cut it out, drop it in some water, and slide it off onto your substrate. Now, let me tell you something really cool about the white toner printer that is probably just going to absolutely blow your mind right now. You can print sublimation using a white toner printer. Yeah, that's 100% possible. But there's also other types of specialty toners. Check these out. So there's actually sublimation toner that you can purchase for your white toner printer. So you don't even have to consider purchasing a sublimation printer. Now, this is pretty cool because you can easily just swap in and out the different types of toners. Now, aside from sublimation toners, you even have the option for fluorescent toners. And that in itself is a huge, huge benefit because nobody offers this kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a few different types of printers that you can purchase that are going to give you the option to do something like this, but a white toner printer gives you the option to do this along with all of the other types of printing. Now, fluorescent printing is really cool because you can shine it under a black light and all of the colors are just going to pop. Now, let's get down to some numbers because I know a lot of you are wondering how much does this cost. So a white toner printer, the entire kit is going to cost you just about $4,000. Now, before you go crazy and you think that's a lot of money, it's not that bad. When you really start to think about it, with all of the different applications that you have available to you, you can start making that money back pretty quick because, again, you're not just going to be printing t-shirts. You have the ability to start printing a lot of other things. On top of that, the toner, it lasts an insanely long time. Just one of these toners is going to last you easily about 2,500 pages. Of course, that's just an estimate, but it can range anywhere between 2,500 to about 3,000 or a little bit more. It really all depends on how much you're printing and how your colors are and how big your images are. So overall, it does come out pretty cheap per print. With your standard A and B paper, if we're talking about just basic t-shirts, it's going to cost you $2 and change. Toner cost, honestly, is going to be maybe 15 cents, again, depending on a variety of factors, but on average, you're not going to be spending more than $2 and change per t-shirt. Now, to give you a break, if you do want a little bit of a discount, you can get 5% off anything off of iColorPrint.com if you use my code NECOPRINTS5 off. Quick disclaimer, that is an affiliate code, so if you do make a purchase, I will get a small commission from that. But at the end of the day, it helps you and it helps me. Now, overall, how does a white toner printer stack up against something like a sublimation printer, a DTG printer, or a DTF printer? A white toner printer is, like I said earlier, a lot more versatile than any of these other printers. The fact that there's no maintenance that needs to be done is absolutely phenomenal in my case because I like things to just work. Now, sublimation printers are kind of the same way. Sublimation printers don't really have much maintenance to be done unless, of course, you have a converted one. But overall, let's say my Sawgrass, I've never had to do anything to it. I've never had to do absolutely any maintenance and it still works. It works perfectly fine, but the applications are limited. Again, you're only going to be able to print on anything that has a white surface or at least a light surface. And of course, it needs to be coated with some sort of polyester to be able to actually accept the ink. Whereas a white toner printer, you can literally start putting these things on anything. So final thoughts, is a white toner printer worth it? To me, yes. To you, I can't tell you that. You really need to assess your business. You need to assess your products, what you want to offer, and what your customers like. Personally, I would say a white toner printer is 100% worth it because you have the option to be able to offer a lot of different products. You can offer tons of different things that you wouldn't normally be able to offer with, let's say, just a vinyl cutter or with just a sublimation printer. But let's say if you're looking to specialize in t-shirts, especially let's say bulk t-shirts, if you want to start getting big orders for companies, for restaurants, then yes, you can go the white toner route, but you might want to go better with something like DTF transfers, not DTF printers, because I'm completely against having DTF printers at home. Simply put, for just a variety of health reasons. When I first got my white toner printer and I started learning how to use it, I started using it primarily, like I said, for my one-offs, but for people that wanted bulk orders, I would use it to be able to print a sample. It's pretty hard to print a sample of, let's say, a full color print if you don't have something that can actually do that. A lot of the times you're going to be ordering DTF transfers, and while you can't order just one transfer, it can get very expensive. So in which case, being able to start off with a white toner printer, make a couple samples, make sure your customer likes it, and then ordering, let's say, bulk transfers from a company like TKO Sales, which, by the way, if you do want to check out TKO Sales, you can also use my code NECOPRINTS to get 10% off of that. That is one way that you can utilize your white toner printer for bulk orders, to be able to print samples to make sure that your customers like them. Of course, you are going to have to tell them that the quality between this one versus the quality of their final print is going to be different because you're only printing one versus printing in bulk. But for the most part, customers, they're going to be cool with it. They're going to be okay with it, and they're not really going to be complaining, at least in my experience. It might be different where you're at. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Let me know what you think your customers are going to tell you. And let me know what you think overall of white toner printers. Do you think they're worth it? Again, me personally, I think it's 100% worth it. I think the versatility of it is definitely going to outweigh the price because you're going to be able to make your money back pretty fast. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if you think that a white toner printer is worth it or if it's not worth it. Do you think all of the different applications are worth the price tag? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. And remember, if you want to check out the white toner printer or any of the accessories, make sure you use my code NECOPRINTS5 off for 5% off iColorPrint.com. Huge thank you to everyone for watching. I know this video was a little bit shorter than some of the other ones that I've put out, but these are my quick thoughts on the white toner printer. Huge thank you once again for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. My name is Mario with Nickel Prints, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.